Here's what's interesting is we have more data about the customer than we've ever had before. And it's really important. But what you're talking about there is one-on-one interactions, actually living with your customers. I was just listening to a podcast and they talked about how the gentleman, extraordinarily successful online, I won't mention his name, but he literally had a mentor that came and said, I want to sit with you for a day. I want to understand how you operate, how you think, how you problem solve, what you do in order to really be a good mentor for you. And what you just described there is to be a really good trusted advisor. You've got to really understand at a deep, innate level your customers and how they think and how they live and what they fear and what they think are the biggest opportunities. It's interesting because all of the big consulting firms have said this is important, but they have all said that literally, I think this was a report that came out in 2023, less than 15% of companies actually activate the voice of the customer in their business. Right. So this seems like a marketing 101. It seems like a growth strategy 101. Know your customer and know them innately. But why do you think that most companies don't understand their customer at the level that you wanted to, that you enjoyed when you were at Accenture, and you've taken now on throughout your career?
I'll give you two answers or stories about this. First, I think we talk a lot in sales training, and we're a CRM company, so we talk a lot about helping salespeople be better as account managers and as salespeople. And a lot of sales organizations focus on the back half of the pipeline, right? Like how you go from negotiating to closing to signing and working deals at the back half of the pipeline. I think what matters, what scales, is focus on the front half. And usually in all sales processes, there's an initial sales stage called discovery or discover or learn or something like this. And I think the best salespeople are really curious about two things. They're really curious about the business. They want to understand the business. We'll often say on good discovery calls, you should be listening about 80% of the time and talking 20% of the time. So curious about the business and then curious about the person. I think in business, sometimes we don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to talk about the challenges, what scares us, what we're worried about. If you ask, people will tell you. And I think being curious about the person and being curious about the business is kind of the fundamental foundation of being customer oriented. And then I could talk a little bit about the voice of the customer and how that can be activated, but let me pause there for a minute.